Here we go, another year. Welcome to the 2025 Cherry Blossom Race Briefing presented by BC Cherry Association. First of all, my name is Corey and I am the co-race director of the Cherry Blossom Triathlon. This year, I would like to welcome back Melindy Elmore, who will be helping me deliver the Cherry Blossom. And we're going to go over all the new things that you can expect to see this year. I am really excited. This is the most number of athletes we've ever had participate. So first of all, huge thank you to you for supporting our race once again this year. It means a lot to us. We just do this for fun. It's a side gig. We both do it just because we love sport, love, being physically active and being able to share that with all of you. That's really why the Cherry was born and continues to, I'll say, thrive again because of you and your willingness to come out and swim, bike, and run with us every year. So thank you so much for, once again, coming out and supporting our race. I do also want to thank our sponsors really quickly. I'm going to talk about some cool stuff that you can expect to see from them this year. And then I'm going to get into all the nitty gritties of some of the things that we're going to be changing because we are at the biggest numbers we have ever seen, which again is super exciting, and that has required us to make a couple changes to the event this year. So stay tuned for that. And then I do have other race briefings up on the website. If you missed those and you really want to get into the nitty gritty of all the details, please check that out. And I have updated the website as of today, Tuesday, May 1st, last minute. So you can read through all the details if you don't have time to sit and listen to me yammer. So first of all, again, big thank you to BC Cherry Association, who has come on as a title sponsor this year. Most of locals know that the cherry industry went through a really tough time, devastated by some severe weather events that we've had in the last couple of years. They have come back stronger than ever. There seemed to be really good synergy between the idea of what we all go through as athletes getting to the start line and even more so getting to the finish line, overcoming adversity, working hard, etc. Very synergistic to what the BC Cherry Association and that whole industry had to do to come through everything. Obviously, they have come on as supporters of our event and couldn't thank them enough. They have made it possible to deliver this race to you and hopefully sustainable going forward in the future. I'll also do a big shout out to Fresh Air, who has been one of our biggest supporters since day one, over 11 years now. This is where package pickup will be on Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. It'll be Fresh Air Kelowna. That is the Dilworth location. If you're not sure where that is, we will provide some details in the email as well. You can go to the website. If you can pick up the package on Saturday, that will save you a little bit of time and stress on the Sunday morning. So I highly encourage you. We got some fantastic volunteers that have organized it, streamlined it. You're going to be in and out in no time. If not, it's their fault. You'll be in and out in no time. And then while you're at Fresh Air, you might as well check out if you need any last minute race items, need to get the bike tuned up, whatever it is. They have all the things you need there for success on race day. Also, a big thanks, Kelowna Triathlon Club, always a big supporter of this event, especially in volunteers. Thank volunteers. That being said, if you're not racing or you know anyone that's not racing, we can still use a few marshals. The more people out on course, stop in traffic, the better. It is a busy time of day that we will be racing around, and there's a lot of different events. So anyway, we can always use more volunteers. You can go to the Cherry Blossom website, sign up. And again, more help, the better. Huge thanks to Dynamic Triathlete, who's been a sponsor for a number of years. They have an online stretching program, which I'm going to put a link to as well. If you got any niggles, pre-post, you plan on continuing doing this stuff, you can do daily stretching, strength, mobility, nutrition, you name it. They got it broken down, super simple. They provided some foam rollers as prizes as well, so you can look for those at the award ceremony. Jugo Juice has come on again. When you cross that finish line, you'll get a little voucher for a free smoothie, so you can take that to Jugo Juice. They've also added some draw prizes, and if you purchase food with your smoothie, I think you'll get, or the first 50 people will get a really cool little tumbler as well. So bring the family up, support them. They supported us. Trust me, over 400 smoothies is no small ass. So thank you so much to Jugo Juice for continuing to support the Cherry Blossom Triathlon. F2C Nutrition will be the hydration sponsor. So you will see the Glycodurance. I have it here, actually. Got my little package. Really easy to go. It goes down really easy. It's not too sweet. And that is what you're going to find at the aid stations, as well as water. And a big thanks to Doak Sheriff, who also provided bottled water for all our finishers. So you can rehydrate when, the temperature at the finish line peaks up and you're a little thirsty. Also, big thanks to Sunbelt. We put up a ton of fencing. They have given us a really great deal on the fence. So really appreciate them stepping up and again, trying to keep costs as low as possible so that we can keep costs as low as possible for you. VeloFix is going to be on site. So thank you to Andrew and his team. If you have any bike mechanicals the morning of, go to the VeloFix vans. They will make sure that your bike is at least rideable. I'm not going to say humming. So again, you got any problems, check them out in the morning. MoveMed is going to be providing the first aid support. So if you have any issues on course, we will have lots of marshals around. We'll have people on motorbikes, scooters, and as well, MoveMed will be located at the finish line, providing that support. And they are not only provide the first aid support, but they are, I would say, the best physios in town. If you have any running injuries, go see them. They will get you sorted. So thank you to MoveMed. And of course, Triathlon BC for always supporting us. This is a sanctioned event. There will be triathlon officials there, making sure everyone races safe and races fair. And then City of Kelowna for supporting this. There's a lot of moving parts that we put together, and they help us get to the finish line each and every year. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to you. Thank you to the volunteers. And let's get down into business. How am I doing for time? 7 minutes. I'm going to make a new record. I'm known for rambling on and on and on. So again, if you do have more questions after I'm done here, go to the race info drop down menu, go to race details. And again, I have updated all of the information here. Now, as I mentioned, this is the biggest cherry we've ever put on with over 400 athletes. We actually need to start a little bit earlier, only 10 minutes, and it's going to be tight. The other change is adding the super sprint for adults. So basically the morning is going to start off. We are opening transition earlier, so at 6 a.m. So you're going to have a little bit more time to work through transition. And we have split transition into two areas. We're going to have one-sided transition, which is going to be closer to the H2O center. That one is going to be for all the super sprint athletes, so the youth, the adults, and those speedy swimmer sprint athletes. So I'm not going to say the first half, but the first portion of sprint athletes will be in transition. I shouldn't say 1A. They'll be in transition A. Transition B will be everyone else in the sprint race. That is going to be starting a little bit later. What this is going to allow for is if you're, especially for the kids who are, it's going to be a little chillier in the morning. I'll talk about that in a second, but you're going to be able to retrieve your stuff a lot sooner. You're not going to have to wait around till 11 o'clock for the last sprint athlete to access transition. So if you start a little earlier, you're going to be able to access your gear a little bit earlier and hopefully warm up and things like that. And then, of course, for those later starting athletes, you're going to have a little bit more time to mull through transition. I'm not going to say you can arrive later. You still probably want to give yourself plenty of time because once that race is going, the traffic is going to back up and it's going to be a lot harder to access the site. But your transition is going to close later and you don't have to be rushed and then standing around wondering what to do for the next hour and a half before you start your swim. So two transition areas. One for the sprint or super sprint and sprint athletes that are a little quicker swimmers, and then the other one for the later starter sprint athletes. Transition, again, will open at 6. It'll close at 7:15 for the first transition. The second transition isn't going to close. I thought I put that on here. I'm going to have to update this one more time. This might have been down here. Isn't going to close until 8 o'clock. Yeah. Man, maybe it didn't save. this is how my week is going. You've got me stressed from all those swim time changes. So yeah, you have a little bit more time to arrive later for transition B. Yeah, 8 o'clock is where we got it dialed. So the race is actually going to start at 7:20, and we're going to be starting with the younger ones. So we are going to be starting with the super sprint. Super sprint 12 to 13-year-olds, and you are starting with a 200-meter swim. You got 1 loop of the bike and then 2 kilometers on the run. I'm going to run through the maps really quickly in a second. Then we move the timing mat down a little bit, so there'll be a short little break, and then we're right into the 14, 15-year-olds. You have a 300-meter swim. Again, 1 loop of the bike and then a 3-kilometer run, so just a little bit different of a run loop. And then we move into the adult super sprint, who have 400-meter swim, 2 loops of the bike, and then 3-kilometer run before we start the sprint race. Now, it is fastest to slowest, and one of the things that I've discovered by some of the swim times is some of the slower super sprint athletes, we're going to need to work around that somehow. So, depending on the accuracy of your swim time, unfortunately, you don't have a half hour to swim 400 meter super sprint athletes, or we're just going to run out of time and we're not going to get everybody through on time before the roads open back up to the pub or to the cars. Yeah. So, we are going to have to speed you through. Hopefully everything works out nice and smooth, and that is my fingers crossed moment right now. Obviously, when we're starting the sprint, they're starting from a 700-meter start. You are hopefully the last couple swimmers in the super sprint will already be a good portion of the way through, and should be no problem. If for some reason, though, we do determine that you're taking a little too long sitting on the wall resting, it might be a safety hazard in terms of the speed differential. We may need to speed you along and kind of give you credit for that last length or two. Again, hopefully it's not the case, but I just wanted to give you the heads up. That could be the case if you're really struggling in the water. We do need to keep things moving because we only have things set up for a particular amount of time, and we are squeezing as many people in as we can this year. But it should time out perfect. Knock on wood. Other than that, that's pretty much how the swim's going to go. You are going to be giving wristbands with your start number. Now that corresponds to your estimated swim time. If you totally messed that up, or you didn't get the emails, or you forgot to change your swim time, I've been literally changing times today on the first, way past the deadline. It is what it is. You can seed yourself or get into line a little bit earlier. You don't have to go at the end if you are a faster swimmer. Actually, I'd prefer that you moved yourself up and just kind of talk to people, figure out where they are thinking that they're going to swim, and slot yourself in. If someone does that and is talking to you, please don't take it the wrong way. It's just they've messed up, and for the continuity and the smoothness of everyone's swim, it would be better that everyone is slotted in the appropriate place as much as possible. The other things on the swim, I just want to say or reiterate year after year, don't go out too hard. That first 100 feels really good. Chill out. You have a long way to swim. Pace yourself. The worst thing to do is try to blow by a number of people and then gas out and then hold them up. So don't do that. I'd recommend, unless it's, really obvious that that person is slower than you, hang back for 100, maybe 200 meters and just make sure. The draft effect is substantial. So if you're following somebody, you're saving about 30% more if you're in a longer line of people. So you can enjoy the swim, cruise through it, and then crush the bike in the run. So again, just be smart on that. As well as we always say, tap your feet, and if someone taps your feet, let them go by. And every year I hear, well, I was tapping feet, or someone was tapping my feet, and I didn't let them go by, or they wouldn't let me go by. You never know what has happened up until that point in the race. Sometimes someone has been passed by someone, and now they're getting held up. So that's why they don't want to let you go by, because they just let someone go by and now they're slowed up, or there's a big train of people. So sometimes the swim goes nice and smooth. Sometimes it might get a little bumpy, but stay calm. Again, at the end of the day, I like to say it's just for fun. I know some of you are highly competitive and want to put in your best effort, but just be aware of all those variables and don't let it take away from the enjoyment of the whole experience. So that's all I have to say on the swim. Hopefully I have changed probably everyone's swim time, or pretty close to everyone's swim time. So it should be as dialed as we possibly can get it. But again, that's all based on you and your accuracy of estimation. So that is my spiel for the swim. You can access in the morning washrooms in the center, so you can access the change rooms. You can put things in lockers. You can put things on bleachers. Again, if you don't lock them up and they're stolen, that's your fault. You can lock things up in the car. You can park really close to transition, which is a really nice part of this race, so you can put things there. We're not moving things from the deck or around, so wherever you leave things is where they will be when you're finished. But again, if you want to be safe, lock them in your car, lock them in the locker. You can come back into the center after your race if you want to hit the shower really quick, warm up, whatever. That's all cool. I will say if you've been there in years past and you want to bring the kids in to swim in the wave pool and stuff, it is shut down at the moment. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but it looks like they're doing some substantial maintenance now. Long story, but that is what it is. Our pool is still good. Thank goodness. So I think that's all I want to say on swim stuff. Moving on to transitions. We talked about timing chips. You can enter transition without getting body marked or getting your timing chip. If you want to set up, if there's a big lineup, do that and then come back, but don't start the race without your timing chip. You'll have no time. So don't forget that, but you don't have to do that first this year. Last year it backed way up and it just took a bunch of time. So free flow in and out of transition as you like. Only athletes in transition. You need your wristband to show as you enter. It will be bounced. And then when you leave transition with your nice new fancy bike, your bike, that number on your wristband must match the number on your bike and you will be allowed to leave. So, and that transition for the first transition will open back up at 9:30. So if you're a super sprint athlete or one of the faster swimmer sprint athletes, you'll have access to transition around 9:30. I shouldn't say at 9:30. It depends on how everything plays out. We need the last biker to come in. So around 9:30, and then the second transition, or transition B, is going to reopen around 10:55. So just before 11 when we need the last biker to come in. Now, if athletes are coming in a little quicker than that, then it'll open a little quicker. But 11 is the hard cutoff when we lose our traffic management and the lights and everything else. So you need to be off the bike course by then. And again, that's when anyone else in the later starter swim group can retrieve their gear. And then we're going to be doing awards probably around noon this year. We're going to do awards all together. And if you did win an award and you're in the super sprint and you had to take off, we might be able to get it to you beforehand if you can't make awards. But everything's going to be done. Big celebration at the end, right around that noon mark. So it looks like it's going to be a nice day, sunny in the afternoon, get up to, I think, 16 to 18. It always goes warmer than my weather app. So should be a nice day to mull around and cheer in the rest of the participants. And then, again, if you're sticking around for awards, we got some great draw prizes. We got some free race entries. We got some race entries to the Cherry, race entries to the Apple Triathlon coming up later this year. We got some gift cards. Again, we got some foam rollers. We got some, lots of stuff. So stick around. Usually not a lot of people do, so you got a good chance of winning something and walking away with maybe something that actually covers your whole race entry. Who knows? So that's it for that. Swim details, I talked about. Bike details. All I want to say on the bike is be careful. Ride with your heads up. Most of the roads are closed. They're going to be very low traffic, but there are driveways and some intersections of cars that could pull out. So always keep your head up. Always be careful. Ride on the right, pass on the left. No drafting. There will be officials out there. If you have any problems out there, there'll be a couple motorbikes doing some loops, so they should be able to help you pretty quickly. And again, just ride safe. Any cars that end up on course, because unfortunately, people do dumb things sometimes, knowingly or unknowingly. Just let them be, and they get the right of way because they're bigger and they're going to win in the end. So that's all I wanted to say on the bike. Again, if you do have any bike issues, make sure you check out VeloFix. You want to make sure everything is safe. Actually, a couple other things that I've seen in the past. You have to wear clothes on the bike. I haven't seen naked, but I've seen topless. You have to be and guys, sorry, I'll be more specific. You do have to wear something covering you, so you can't do it shirtless. I know it's nice to do a pool swim in your bathing suit and then just keep on going, but you do have to put something on. If you are putting anything on in the morning, it's definitely cool. Anything full zip is going to be the easiest. If you have gloves, I'd recommend doing gloves because that's going to be exposed to the wind, and sometimes tying your shoes after that is a little difficult. If you're starting later on, it's going to be warming up and it probably won't have much of an issue. But again, make sure that you are wearing something on you. You also have to wear a helmet. That is mandatory. Helmet must be on, done up before you even touch your bike. Don't touch your bike unless the helmet is on and done up. There will be officials in transition and they'll stop you. They may penalize you. I really don't want them to disqualify you. Again, we're there for fun. So don't forget that. Wear a helmet, wear something covered, and you should be good to go. If you want to drink on the bike, make sure you bring it yourself in a water bottle. There are no aid stations on the bike. There are aid stations in the transition area, so you can grab a gulp of something out of the swim, and you can grab a gulp of something as you head out onto the run. And then we do have a run aid station that is about halfway on the sprint triathlon. Super sprinters, you should be able to survive 2 to 3 kilometers, no problem. So you get nothing until the finish line. Run fast and you'll get a nice bottle of water waiting for you in a smoothie. So run details. This one's where it gets a little more complicated. I'm going to pull up the route here for a sec. Everyone will be running out. You will be running back behind MNP Place. They are doing some construction here, so we may be running a little bit of cross country. Which will be just to the backside here. Then we are going to be crossing the road. There are marshals. This whole site is quite busy, even though we have marshals on there. Keep an eye out for cars. Again, sometimes people do dumb things, so always give them right away, but hopefully it should be nice and safe. You can continue your stride, cross the roads here. You're picking up the asphalt path that goes all the way around Mission Recreation Park. And then this is where it splits off. So sprint athletes, you are going this way, same as years past, through the Michael Brook parking lot, picking up Kamloops Road and running all the way down to Swamp. I can pick up the next map in a sec. And this is where it will change for super sprint athletes. If you are doing any of the super sprints, instead of turning right, you are turning left. So turning left. And if you are 12 to 13-year-old, you are just going to carry on and you are going pretty much straight shot back to the finish line. The 14, 15s and adults are going to be turning into the Ball Diamond parking lot here, and you're going to be doing a little loop-de-loop up the Greenway to get you an extra kilometer for 3 kilometers. So just zooming out a second here, this is where the change is made here. Sprint athletes, again, all the way out Kamloops Road to Swamp. You're running opposite direction of the bike course, so bikes will be coming this way. You'll be running on the bike path, or half the bike path anyway. So just keep an eye out because they're going to be coming the other direction. Then you're going to be running down here. This is where the aid station is going to be located if you are thirsty. And then a couple people made a mistake last year where instead of doubling back and going over the bridge, they got right onto the Greenway and started running on, this side here. So make sure you do double back a little bit up over the bridge on Casorso, then onto the Greenway, and you're going all the way to Gordon. Over the bridge again, doubling back, and now you're picking up the city yards and tootling back to the start line. The super sprint athletes, again, 12, 13-year-olds, you're going to do a straight shot, just continue on down Lexington. Then you'll pick up, again, this little crosswalk here. Again, these will be busy. There is a softball tournament and an ultimate frisbee tournament, of course. So there will be a lot of traffic coming in and out of here. Again, the marshals are going to do the best to make sure cars know to stop and give way so that you can have a great race. But again, keep your heads up as you're crossing. If you do need to pause for 3 seconds, I'll add it onto your time or take it off your time. No. But don't get run over. 12-13's super sprint athletes is going to be earlier in the morning. It should be fine. As we get later and later, it gets busier and busier. So again, you're going straight shot back to Gordon and then back to the finish line. The 14-15 in adults, you are coming all the way up here, doing a little out and back onto the greenway, and then picking up the course, the sprint course at the city yard area here and running back. So that would be the 3 different run routes between the 12-13 super sprint, 14-15 adult super sprint, and the full sprint triathlon run. I think that's all I wanted to talk about on the run. Done the swim. I didn't talk about the main site transition area. This is kind of how it's going to be split. So when you come out of the water, you're going to be exiting out of the pool doors, which you can't really see here up on the top deck. Be careful going down those stairs. Sometimes you're a little dizzy coming out of the water. Use the handrail. They are concrete stairs, so be careful. Once you get to the bottom, you're going to be just following and we should have this all fenced this year, so there's no confusion. All the way across here, big long run, making it nice and fair, corner to corner here. And then if, again, you're super sprint or faster sprint swimmer, you're going to be in this closer transition. I should have put a B or something on there, or A on there, sorry. If you're a little slower, you're going to be in this transition here, slower swimmer, sorry. And then you exit on the bike this way, so you'll mount here, and then away you go. There will be bikers, if you're a little bit later on, coming by here pretty quick, so as you merge, again, stay to the right. On the bikers coming through for their successive laps, stay to the left. Just keep your heads up here. This can get congested a little bit if you're coming out with big packs, so be careful on and off. Same as you're coming in, instead of continuing across, you're going to be coming in, dismounting before the line. So mounting after the line, dismounting before the line, and then you'll run your bike into whichever transition you're in, put your bike back to where you got it from, and then out on the run you go for everybody, same way here. I will say, this is the finish, by the way. So you'll continue on running that path, turn in here into the finish line where you'll get announced. Someone will grab your timing trip. We got some medals. Got some nice Cherry finisher medals this year. That was the thing I forgot. Swim caps. It's my biggest disappointment right now. Are stuck in customs, and I have very little hope that they're going to arrive. So if you come back next year, you'll probably have 2 caps, because I don't know what I'm going to do with a bunch of 2015 swim caps. I'm really sad because they look cool. Anyway, so if you want to swim with a cap, bring your own cap just in case they don't come in time. But right now I'm leaning towards they're probably not. And there was one other thing as I got distracted there on the bike. What was it? It probably wasn't that important anyway. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Shoot me an email. If it's not urgent, I will encourage you, save your question, ask it in person on package pickup, either on Saturday, again, Fresh Air, Dilworth, 3 to 6 p.m. Or you can ask us in person race morning if you have to pick up your package there. But again, want to make this as fun and enjoyable as possible. Again, you're with great company. It's always a great atmosphere every single year. If you're a beginner, this is your first one, it's going to be a ton of fun. I know you're going to be nervous and a little bit anxious, but again, we've all been there. It's you're in good company, and to be honest, just showing up, you're already a rock star, a winner to everyone else who isn't doing the race. So congratulations on that. I can't wait to see you on Sunday. And I think that's the end of my rambling tangent talk on what's coming up this year. So see you Sunday, rest up, and race hard. We'll see you then.